Right, so here is my favourite thing to do with villain. You take any card, whatever this is. This is the King. What are the chances that I actually pick Danuel? Anyways, you take it, you give the deck a mix. Go again. And then, let's see if we can do it. Nope, did not get it on the first attempt. Let's try again, hold on. Just without thinking too hard, just cut where it naturally feels like confident enough. And that's the King of Hearts. Give it one more try, Actually, was that it? Hold on. It's quite difficult to do. I'm terrible at doing it. No. Let me check it's not on top or bottom. No, it's not at the bottom. Yeah, that's why. The King of Diamonds is already on top of the deck. I had already done it. Let's go again. Let's try one more time round. One more time round. Let me just find my favorite card. Let's go with. No, we'll just go with this one. We'll go with the Ace of Spades. Slap it on top. Quick cut. Let's see if we can do it. Yeah, there we go. Ace of Spades. So the way that we're doing this is, I know my demonstrations weren't exactly the easiest or the best, but let me find the villain card wherever it is. And what I've done is I've applied villain to the face of the card rather than on the back of the card, because what we want is we want the villain card to always be hidden. So here it is. If I show the villain card to the camera, you should be able to see it is quite busted up. I've applied a breather crimp to the face of the card. So you literally, this is me with the card round to the back, but you can see what I'm doing on the face. There really is no good way for me to show the camera without me moving the camera, and genuinely me trying to display what I'm doing already using the camera being blind is not the easiest. But you're applying a breather crimp to the front, so you're going to have your thumbs. If you don't know how to do a breather crimp on the face, I mean, just look it up. Very, very simple. Just Google search how to do a breather crimp. But putting your thumbs in the middle, indexes on the back. So literally, there we go. If I show the camera kind of like that, that's the idea of what you're doing on the face, but you're literally just breather crimping the face of the villain card. I like to go with the 2s for my villain card because you can just apply it right in the middle. I'm not using the most recent villain. I'm just literally using a white crayon. It's a white crayon that I got in the Vanity collection that I bought years ago. But it works just as fine in terms of getting the cards to stick together. In terms of the card actually being hidden, like Danuel shows in the most recent masterclass, that I've not been able to do. So I'm definitely going to be getting one of the most recent villains, but this does work just as well. Let me show you one more time. So you're literally just putting the card on the bottom of the deck. You then take any selection. I think I've actually got multiple breather crimps in this deck, which is throwing it off. I can't tell. This is quite an old deck. I'm using the red remedies. I love this deck. But you're just going to take any card, And there really is no technique to this. You can give this to a participant and get them to do everything by themselves, and it will work. I've given the deck to participants. I've said, take any card, put it on top of the deck, cut the deck, and then this is the most important part. Giving the deck an overhand shuffle. With a riffle shuffle, it's too unreliable. It's too unreliable that the card is going to completely 100% stay with it. If you give it a riffle shuffle, or if you're handling the deck, you can full shuffle and put it in a position that's very easy to cut to. So let me demonstrate doing this with a false shuffle. So we've got in this case, our selection is the 7 of clubs this time. We're going to put the 7 of clubs, cut it in the middle. So as you can see, I can literally just go, hold on, missed it again, come on. That's what I mean. Yeah, no, I got to the villain card, so no, the next one after it is the 7 of clubs. In a performance, I just say, oh, I missed it, I was one off, and that's fairly impressive. You're not demonstrating this as a complete show of absolute skill, you know. You're just trying to make it an interesting thing of, can you cut to your card? And for somebody who's not handled a deck of cards, does not know how to do sleight of hand, or is a professional with a deck of cards, being able to hit their card, dead cut to their card in a shuffled deck is impressive as it sounds. Even though nothing really too magical has happened. But the action of doing something magical with no training, no thing, you know, no prior practice, that is magical. And that's, I've had people react to this effect. Words are difficult, but yeah, you can just do a false demonstration if you're handling the cards yourself. You take the card, you cut it into the middle, you then false, like, just false cut the deck, you know, do whatever. Do like one of these, and then you just go, hold on, missed it, no, did we do it? Hold on, nice. Yeah, we oh my god. My handling of the cards. Yeah, we hit the 7 of clubs. So that's doing it off a false demonstration. If for me personally, I just find it easier because I can't see the section in the deck. If you've got eyesight, you're going to be able to see where that breather crimp is going to be bowing the deck, so you're able to cut to it. And if you cut to it, do the breather crimp with the on the face rather than doing a reverse breather crimp. Beaver crimp. I don't think I've ever heard of a beaver crimp. Yeah, if you do the regular breather almost actually saying beaver crimp. If you do the breather crimp on the face, it causes the card to bow upwards, so the air is going to be underneath the card. So when you go to cut the deck, it's going to cause the deck to lift up exactly on their card. But yeah, you can do this with just an actual shuffle, which I did in the demonstration. You're going to take the card that you select. So I selected the 7 of diamonds this time. You take it, cut it in the middle, give the deck a light shuffle. So when I say I instruct them to cut the deck, they don't know what the next instruction is going to be. I'll say, can you give the deck a quick shuffle? And with my hands, I will mime doing an overhand shuffle. And that's normally the trick that I found to get somebody to do an overhand shuffle, by instructing them to shuffle the deck in a certain way without telling them to do it in that way. If you simply mime doing something, they're very likely to copy your action, because that's just a natural habit that people do. People just copy what they see. It's the same, you wouldn't think about it, but if you see somebody sitting a certain way when you're having a conversation with them, you might be inclined to copy with how they're sitting. It's just one of those natural human behaviors. But if you mime doing an overhand shuffle, they would just do an overhand shuffle, especially somebody who doesn't handle cards very often. Did I cut it in the middle? Yeah, I have already cut it in the middle. Yeah, so you literally just, oh my god, you do an overhand shuffle. Let me do one more. And then let me see if I can get it. Nope. Let me see. One more time. Nope. Oh my god. Hold on. Is it already on top? Wait, hold on. Where is it? Yeah, no, it was second from the top. Yeah, it's impossible to dead cut to the card if it's already at the top. But I mean, if you do that, one, the participant doesn't know what the direction of the performance is going to be, so you just say, oh, nice, you already did it without even trying to. You know, you already cut your card to the top. And then you just go and do something else. This is just a fun thing that you can do using villain. And I kind of think it's up to your performance. I mean, a lot of people are going to be better at finding a crimp than I am. I really, really struggle with feeling where the crimps are, even though my sense of touch is decent-ish. I still just really struggle to find crimps, especially using the Black Mariah and fine strippers. I really struggle because yes, you can do all of that stuff blindfolded, but your eyesight insanely helps. If you use an M deck with eyesight, the amount of things you can do with that are impossible. But yeah, this is my fun little demonstration of what you can do with villain. Another little thing that I like to do that I want to show. Let me grab. I have this sitting on my windowsill. One of these is a beauty blender, right? Guys, don't worry. You can buy one of these without looking, I don't know, effeminate or caring. It's a beauty blender. Nobody's gonna care. Even so, you can buy these on Amazon. You can buy these from any beauty store online. When you apply the wax to the card, rather than using your thumb, you can just use this. You can use these are a bit nicer than just using a random sponge. But you just take this, put it on the fat end, and put it down on the card. And then, where's my villain card? Let me find my villain card. Is it on top? Yeah, there it is. You just take your villain card, where you've applied the wax, and just go over and just give it, you give it a pretty, just solid smudge, just to kind of smudge it over the card. And it blends it into the card perfectly. But yeah, this is my demonstration of what I like to do with villain. If you give this to a participant, you can make a participant completely freely dead cut to their card in a shuffled deck. So yeah. And as well with the villain card, with it being on the face and applying the breather crimp on the face, your participant is not going to see this breather crimp ever because the wax is on the face, the wax is hidden in the card if you're using the most recent version of villain. If you're just using a standard wax crayon like a Crayola, as I said earlier, I've not had that stick, but even so, I don't think many people would point it out. The only time I've ever had somebody point this out was when I was playing card games and somebody saw my villain card because we were using it in the deck. I wasn't doing anything deceptive. I was genuinely just playing the game for fun. But a friend, my cousin, who was it? Yeah, it was my cousin, saw the villain card and he was like, this is a really beat up card. I was like, yeah, the deck's just a bit old. But that's a perfect excuse to use a villain card as well. If your deck is worn, creating those naturally occurring opportunities deceptively, if that makes sense, putting crimps in the deck, nicking the cards, applying, what's the thing called with the pinhole? I can't remember. Punching, yeah, applying punches. That works completely fine if you want to deceptively put them in a worn deck. Grab an old deck of bikes, just have fun and put a bunch of gimmick cards in it. And very few people would point it out. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to say about villain. I need to go grab one of the actual villains, one of the good villains. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I've got to say. Much love. Slight Club. Yeah,